I'm a little older than I look. I have 7 grandchildren. I have 4 children who are in their 30s and 40s who I raised as a single dad. My degree is in music. I had several jobs running sound for some of the clubs in West Hollywood, and I also stage managed a 6-camera webcast up in North Hollywood. Then in early 2010, I had a bit of an internal bleeding problem, which required 7 days in Cedars-Sinai Hospital. And before Obamacare, I had no health insurance, so it wiped out my entire life savings. Just as I was getting back on my feet, in November 2015, I was diagnosed with follicular lymphoma, which is incurable but controllable with chemotherapy. It was already stage 4, and they told me that I had to start chemo immediately. Chemo is very hard on your body. It has many side effects, and because of that, I was disabled and could no longer work, which is what allowed me to apply for SSI and Medi-Cal. Even though I'm lucky enough to live in a small studio apartment in LA, the SSI payment is so small, there's really very, very little left over to live on. Medi-Cal works with my healthcare facility in paying for all of my visits and all of my treatments. And consequently, I never had to miss a treatment. While I was in my 2nd year of chemo, I came into some money. And I was immediately in a panic because I knew this amount of money would knock me off of SSI and knock me out of Medi-Cal, and I would lose my benefits. I would stop getting my treatments. Missing the chemos is not like missing a virus shot. It's missing the drug that's killing the cancer in my body, which means that while I was missing the chemos, the cancer would have been growing in my body. So what I did is I went online and I did some research, and I found out about trust. When you give the money to a trust, you're giving them the money irrevocably, which means you could never have it back. So you have to trust them that they will do the right thing with the money for you. One of the names on the list was JLA Trust. So I called JLA Trust, and they were absolutely magnificent over the phone from the very first second I talked to them. And I was so taken by the personal care that these people showed me that my mind was immediately made up to go with them and to literally trust JLA Trust. I knew that they were going to use my money for me. I felt an honest caring and concern, a bonding, like being brought into a new family, and a love that I just felt trust. When the doctors told me I'd be doing 3 or 4 years of chemo and be disabled for that time, I figured, well, maybe I should get some kind of hobby to help me mentally go through it. And the hobby that I picked up on was photography. A friend who has a degree in art said to me, "You know, Greg, your photos are getting really good. You should get a good camera and work on them." I spoke to the people at JLA, and they're not worried about the pennies, they're worried about the person. They said, "Well, sure, go out and get a camera." And now, when I have time in between my doctor's appointments and my chemo, I have my camera and I take pictures of all the birds and the bees that fly by. I'm almost on 2 divergent paths of life. I do have the cancer, and it is incurable. And I do know it will come back eventually. Whether it comes back in a week, a year, or 10 years, we don't know. But meanwhile, I'm alive and I'm living. And the value of the JLA Trust is that my day-to-day life and needs are taken care of. Between the SSI paying my rent and my food, the trust handles things if I need a bottle of Mr. Clean, if I need some sponges, if I break a dish. I don't have to go into a panic. And on top of that, The ease of mind that the trust gives me enables me to fulfill the things that I feel really passionate about, like my photography, like my music, like staying in contact with my children. I just have total ease of mind now, and I'm living my life free and happy.